Streaming has become an increasingly important part of the way people are accessing gaming. There's obviously the service Steam, but there's a new particular service that claims to literally be the Netflix of games, allowing you to access a back catalogue of decades of games, theoretically. It is called Grid. Let me introduce our panel this week. Claire Riley from the website CNET and the host of the ABC's podcast Science Versus, Wendy Zuckerman. Describe for me exactly what is Grid.
They're going to be putting all of these games on the cloud so that you can stream them at your leisure suit, Larry. And they're hoping that this will change the way that gamers do consume their games. But one of the problems already, I think, with what they've announced is the download speeds that you're going to need in order to play this. They're saying you need at least 10 megabits per second to get a regular connection so you can constantly be playing your game. Now, the average connection in Australia, according to a report last year, is lower than that. It's 5.8 megabits per second, which means you're going to be buffering, waiting and buffering. And the other problem seems to be that you can't go back and return to your game, which, again, the last time I played a game was probably Mario Kart and on a Game Boy. But I think
Wolfenstein 3D 1991 right here.
Oh, wow.
But if you've just invested 3 hours making Larry as leisured as possible, you want to come back to that same game, and that doesn't seem possible with the current arrangement.
Yeah, that's right. So there's a bunch of things at play here. So what it's essentially doing is, so people have consoles in the lounge room. They've got their PC, the superior machine in the study. What? Yeah, I said it. But the idea that you could have a PC-like experience with some of those games and just put it in your living room, streaming through your TV, but pulling information down from the cloud and taking games that you might have purchased, and it's all happening digitally, but it is requiring that 10 megabits per second speed. It's going to be rolling out to some of NVIDIA's products that are existing. So they've got two products called the Shield Tablet and the Shield Portable. These devices can already play like Android games and pull games from their PC as long as it's an NVIDIA compatible machine. It's similar to PlayStation Now, so if people are using that, it's a kind of cloud-based gaming service. But they say in a kind of a sick burn that PlayStation Now is using technology from about 10 years ago, and they're going to have massively increased performance, a better frame rate. So when you're playing like a first-person shooter and you're sitting down, one, you want a really great frame rate for a really seamless experience, but two, the internet connection is really important because if things are stuttering, your multiplayer suddenly, you get headshotted and it's all over. And we're not just talking Leisure Suit Larry here, guys. It's like there are lives on the line.
Games aren't necessarily being archived in an accessible fashion in the same way that, every movie you ever wanted is on some movie downloading service or, torrents as well.
Well, there's actually a really cool project that has changed that to some extent. So some of the old platformers that people used to play, if you go to the Internet Archive, they're the people that essentially archive the internet. Does what it says on the can, Claire. But this
is the Wayback Machine,
yeah? Yeah, essentially, yeah. They've taken a bunch of old platform games, old games like Prince of Persia, and they've made them available online. So there's some cool stuff happening. But you're right, it's not necessarily immediately accessible.
I think we have this kind of loose obsession with nostalgia with these games, but it runs out pretty quickly. So as soon as you said Prince of Persia, I went, yes, I would love to play that. For about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason a lot of these platforms kind of harking back to our childhood might have some initial success.
Yeah, by the time it's done buffering, you'll be bored.
But there's other games like the original Half-Life series, and that's a game that you can, like I'm currently going through it again now, it's just like, that's a game you can spend hours and hours in and get motion sickness, and I have to keep forcing myself to stop playing it. But yeah, the problem with NVIDIA is they've only got about 20 games on the platform at launch. There's no word for Australia yet, as usual. You can't export your saved game data. It's a free trial for now, but we don't know what the pricing is going to be when it's launched, and the speed is a bit of an issue.
All right, is this the streaming service for games that you want, or are you more of a Steam person? Let us know down in the comment section below, and of course hit subscribe. See ya.